Wonderful, and we just had breakfast in Brickfields. This is a cultural street, right? You can just see, the celebrations that we just have outside, and this is really, we call it diversity. I used to stay in Brickfields as well, from the end to the end, from the start to the end as well, just to let you know. Well, I'll just pause there, Mr. Lawrence, while I'll come back with a little bit more difficult questions. But I would like to, open up to the floor to Dr. Boomer. Dr. Boomer, is we understand from you that you have been in the data scientist area for a while now. Would you be able to share with us, your journey as a female or a woman in data science in this particular field itself? What are the challenges that you have, and how do you overcome it? And of course, share a little bit to us, your experience as a data scientist.
Yeah, sure. Thanks for that. So let me give a brief about myself, right? Myself, I'm Dr. Boomer here, completed my doctorate in the field of computer science and engineering with a major of data science, right? That's where I believe that I'm a data scientist serving as well. So currently I'm playing a role of AI solution architect and a Gen AI expert along with a manager in Avanade for data and AI. Right. So being a woman, and so for your question, definitely I have gone through a lot of things, a lot of barriers of being a woman. Starting from my research career, I would like to share with you that, while I was registering for my PhD in the field of computer science and engineering, especially in the field of data science, there was a newbie at that time. So I feel myself lonely. It's because the major barrier what I faced is lack of visibility of women in that particular field. When we don't find a better example of people whom we are looking for, like similar to us, if you don't find one such people in your journey, you will feel like you're lost or you're walking alone in the path. So that's what I felt like the first barrier for me while I was trying to register for a PhD. So I thought, I took a step back. Why do I need it? Why do I need a PhD? Because for me, pursuing a PhD is something like a persistent. Then, something pushed me. That something is nothing but my goal. To reach my goal, my primary thing, to get a doctorate degree and to achieve something in a field where we have less women, so that I will act as a mentor. Because at that time, to overcome my barrier, I was searching for a relatable mentor for me. So why do I mean here relatable mentor for me? It's not just who can guide me in the same field, tech field, who could also have or who came across the similar experience what I have came across. So I found one. I made myself active, seeking in the communities for the role model, and that definitely helped me a lot. My mentor, a right mentor. So to overcome this kind of barrier, we should find a better mentor for us, who always engage us, who always motivate us, and apart from everything, we need to stand for ourselves. Being a woman, we will be questioned most of the times, we will be underestimated, and that will really bring us down, that will frustrate us. So what I have done is, I have made my frustration into motivation. That's the thing. I pushed myself to reach my goal. And with all the active communities, I made myself engaged, developed my networks. This is how, I managed to overcome the barriers and achieve my doctorate. And that is not the end of my hurdles. After achieving the doctorate degree, jumping into the IT field is not quite easy for me. It's because I have started my career as an academician. I have not directly into the IT field. So academic is something different. It's two different mindset, academy and IT industry. Because when you talk about academia, it's completely of depth and exploration. But when you come to IT industry, it is like something you need to focus on your speed and the solution delivery. So everything to be, in on time. So that's also another hurdle for me. And yeah, so find yourself engaged, find a good mentor, be active in an active community, engage yourself, develop your network to overcome all the barriers. So this is my suggestion.
Wow, thank you, Dr. Boma. All right, so now I'm going to be a little bit more difficult in terms of questions for Mr. Lawrence. So, Mr. Lawrence, I have a question which is, probably you may want to share with everybody is, what is the fastest growing economy, or which is the fastest growing economy that, in your own personal opinion, or even probably is already available in the industry, what do you think is the fastest economy right now?
Okay, the fastest and biggest growing economy is not China, and it's not US. Right? Contrary to what we believe, if you look across all the different things that happen in IT, actually, if you look at cybercrime, if cybercrime is a country by itself, it's actually the third largest country by itself, close to $10 trillion in revenues on an annual basis as well, right? So that is actually quite a staggering numbers as well. And then you ask among the top three, China and US, and then of course cybercrime, who is the fastest, and that kind of size actually growing the fastest. Actually, cybercrime is actually the fastest. If it's a nation, it's actually will be the fastest growing as well, right? So it is staggering, but it's also thought-provoking, because then you think about, as we move into the era of AI, right? How can we use AI then to really address this issue as well, right? Because with AI, you are involving a lot more complex decision making. There's a lot more complex process, and of course, all this out and coming new large language model and so on, and so the compute power obviously has grown up exponentially at the same time as well, right? So we can either use AI in the wrong way, or in an irresponsible way, or we can tackle it in a responsible way as well, right? And as you think about AI usage, and you think about data and everything else we did as well, right? Cyber security almost has to be, I would say, like a day zero kind of responsibility. Like it has to be something that, as part of what we call, security future kind of initiative is, secure by design, secure by default, secure by operation as well, right? I think we're thinking about that way as well.
All right, thank you, Mr. Lawrence. And then recently, I think everybody would love to know this, right? With the recent, huge IT disruption, which is CrowdStrike software updates, I believe you have a lot of Malaysian companies and directors or even CEOs would have called you. What are those common questions that you have received? Would you share a little bit more with the audience?
Yeah, it's quite a surreal experience in a few days as well now. Who was stuck at the airport during the CrowdStrike? Anyone here?
Wow, we do.
We do, right? For one or two person, right?
Thank you for being here.
Yeah. So I think this happens on a Friday, Saturday, I can't remember. Yeah, Friday. It's on the weekend, right? It's interesting because you get calls from customers, and usually customers, especially the major one, and that's kind of expected, something of this nature as well. But what's interesting about CrowdStrike, and by the time it hit the 7-8 hours, I just realized this is a lot different from all the previous IT outages as well. Number one, I'm getting calls from a lot of friends who haven't spoken to me for 15, 20 years. And something I got playing, Lawrence, how are you? Congrats you playing Microsoft. I was like, this is a very weird way of congratulating when I already in Microsoft for 5-6 months, and now you only and secondly, I never hear from you guys for 15 years. By the time the third or fourth person who ping me, my first follow-up question is that, are you calling from the airport? Yeah, so a lot of people think that this is a Microsoft problem, and Lawrence, he must have a solution to my. Yeah. So that's one interesting observation that there is. And this association that because all the blue screen, everyone is calling Microsoft, and I'm hearing from my customers, from CEOs, from long lost friend I haven't heard of before, and from my parents, from my auntie and uncles, everyone is calling. So by the time I hit the middle, and I realized that wow, this is not a normal outstage at all, right? So I say it's a wake up call because by the time we hit Monday, I got a call from Govin office as well that you need to come to the office, and I say okay, all right, we need to go in and explain our stuff and say why this is happening as well. So it's going to be a very private meeting, just three from Microsoft and maybe Govin and his special officer. Oh, you go in, it's a room in a U shape, two circle. Middle circle, and they put in the middle there with a mic, and it's like a US Congress. So Lawrence, tell me what's happening. Can you guarantee this will not happen again? And I said no. The answer is I can't guarantee it. Right? There's no one can ever. I said to say that this will never happen again. Number one, it will be irresponsible answer. Right? I think what's more important is understanding how it happened, why it happened, and how we can build a better process about it as well, right? So I think there's a lot of realization that we are living in in this highly internet connected world. There are certain things that are getting more complex, and every time that this topic happens, the nature of that blast radius is incredible as well, and we really think very deeply about how do we prevent futurely, and I think we can have a separate session talk about what Microsoft is doing since then in terms of preventing things like this from happening at this scale. Right? We have to learn from it as well. I think that's the thing. But to say that it will not happen again is I think will be a very dishonest answer as well. Alright. And the second thing is and it's to come from I think one of the MinDev cybersecurity unit within the room. So if we don't move to the cloud and move all the national data back to local data center, will it be more secure and selected? And the reality is the answer is no. Right? And I think there's also another realization. It doesn't really matter you are sitting in the data center, you're sitting in the dome, or you're sitting in the cloud. As long as you have a device that's connected to internet, everyone is exposed to whether it's intentional or accidental outages like this as well, right? And that's the reality of the society we are living. We're so interconnected, it's almost impossible to disengage, right? So the answer is now is how do we first of all raise an awareness about the need of security, not just at the back end but also all the way to the edge as well, right? I think the education needs to be continuous as well. It's not just about technology, it's also about processes as well. It's also about governance and so on and so on. Right? So there's a lot of layers that we need to investigate and kind of like reflect on what we can do better as well. Yeah. So yes, I shouldn't say it's great that it's happened because it obviously impacted a lot of people. Right? But I think CrowdStrike is a wake-up call for us as well. A simple mistake, becomes such a big scale thing. Just tell you about the reality of the society we live in today as well, yeah. And how Microsoft, as a largest tech company in the world, has a huge responsibility to provide the right thought leadership and together with the broader community to try to solve this as well. Right? Because this is not a problem that can be solved by a single vendor as well. Yeah.
And then I'm going to switch to Dr. Boomer, and while just for the last questions, I'll keep for Mr. Lawrence. How do you see the role of data scientists here itself, evolving in the field of cybersecurity?
That's a very good question, right? Because AI has its own stand and cybersecurity has its own stand. So combining together, it's definitely is doing a magic. So we have a lot of trends when we come to the combining part of AI with cybersecurity, right? But here, due to time constraint, let me just highlight few major trends with AI and cybersecurity. So one trend is already it has started its role, AI with cybersecurity. Most of the companies, they have started using it in terms of prediction and identification of new threats. Let's say, for example, even in Malaysia, most of the finance sector, they have started using it. You know why? AI has the capacity to scan vast amount of data. So what is the purpose of scanning vast amount of data? Is nothing but making the process easier, right? So when it is trying to scan vast amount of data, it has another beauty when it combines with the cybersecurity. So what is that? Is nothing but it has the capacity to identify, and it has the capacity to make sure about some unusual activities. You know, in most of the finance term, they will call this as anti-money laundering. So anti-money laundering is doing its own way of all nonsense things, but that was handled by AI with cybersecurity. So what it is doing in finance sector, it is just trying to help the security team in finance sector to identify all these kind of unusual transaction, and helping the team to flag and notify them in prior way, so that it is helping in such kind of trends. And one another major trend is, all you would have had a chance to visit that system when you're reaching the immigration office in the KLIA airport. That is called as a smart gate. You would have seen it and you would have experienced it, if so. So the main goal behind inventing that smart gate is nothing but to make use of AI and cybersecurity to handle the repetitive task. So repetitive task here is just to recognize who we are by using our identification. It might be the NRIC or passport, and who you are, what we have done, where we are traveling, where we have traveled. So those kind of information is there. AI is handling it, and along with that, all these are considered as our personal data, PII data. So this particular smart gate system is making use of AI and cybersecurity to handle everything in a secured way, right? So it is just reducing the time. By reducing the time, what is the cost and what is the help it is doing to the security team and the immigration system is nothing but it is letting the security team to handle some other big issue. So not to just focus on the repetitive task like visiting the travelers, just checking their passport, stamping something in in our travel information. Just this is a repetitive task. So this is one another trend, and as I said, it has already started its job to do some magic with a combination of AI and cybersecurity, right? So how do I see as a data scientist and an AI expert? It's generally becoming a backbone of AI, is becoming a backbone of cybersecurity. It is helping to predict, it is helping to identify, as I said, new threats. That is a crucial thing. And in future, you can see AI with cybersecurity. Now we would have heard mostly about Copilot. And in future, I'm just curiously waiting to hear it as Cyber Copilot. And Lawrence, I think we could hear this term as well.
Yeah. We do have a Copilot for security today.
Yes.
Thank you so much. And I just wanted to ask one more question to Dr. Buba. With the audience here today, mostly are all the coders, especially without barriers here. What would be, your key advice, right, to the coders here today?
Find your passion in the field which you're looking for, right? As I said, find for a right mentor. Make yourself available in an active community, search for the active community and just be involved in it. More than everything, keep yourself updated, stay curious because technology is evolving rapidly.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Buba. And Mr. Lawrence C., last question. Where do you see Microsoft bolstering the cybersecurity, in which way of a secure manner?
Okay. I kind of talk about it later as well. So I think after the CrowdStrike incident, and of course there are some other previous incidents. I think Microsoft do take this whole cybersecurity very seriously as well, because when it comes to building trust with customers, right? Cybersecurity is at the front line of building the trust as well, right? So we came out with this security futures initiative as well, right? When we talk about three specific areas, one is on the security by design as well. When when the product design point, we are secure from day one as well. And of course, the second one is secure by design. What's the second one?
A few seconds off.
By default, sorry, yeah, in terms of the setting is just, yeah, right. So you want it to be secure by default.
No,
Okay.
I
On the operation and process side, we make sure that it's secure by process as well. Yeah. So I think it's kind of a high level how Microsoft is looking at the secure future initiative as well. Make sure that we have the framework, right, in terms of how we roll out new product, in terms of how we think of new product design, and the subsequent process is how we did, right? We follow the same framework as well, right? And it's not just something that's for Microsoft internal product, but it's part of broader ecosystem as well.
All right, thank you so much, and thank you, Dr. Buma and Mr. Lawrence C. I think in this panel discussion itself, what I've learned is basically no matter what barriers that you have encountered or any challenges that you have encountered, is focused on the improvement area, right? And especially both their key experiences is don't panic, right? You don't have to face the policy owner, and then you have to face different challenges itself. Is don't panic, but at the same time focus on where the improvement areas. Very great learning. Thank you so much, both of you. Very very good insight. Thank you so much.
Great gift to bring to you this Code Without Barriers event in Kuala Lumpur. Stiaba works with developers to seed new technology, research developer personas, and bring new technologies to markets. They bring together developers and technology creators to help scale technology awareness and adoption. They look forward to connect with the vibrant technology community here in Malaysia through more such collaborations and events like this one. So thank you, a big thank you to Stiaba. Photo session now.
How do you want to do this?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Yes, I think it's best that we take a group session now because I know some of you may want to go home early. So I think let's have a photo. The best way, I think, let's see.
Take from there. Or you want to take from here, which is easier. Everybody come from here, we just stand here. Okay, maybe